Hi, folks. Hope you guys are well and writing some beautiful enterprise level code. Today's topic is an interesting one. We'll go through software engineering titles and salaries in US and UK. Before we move on, I would like to thank all the people who subscribe to my channel, which has really encouraged me to create more videos. Please subscribe, comment, and sign up to the mailing list. I will be adding the link in the description. Software engineering levels are the roadmap that gets you to your career destination. There are three major industries: fintech, banking, for example, JP Morgan, HSBC, or fintech service providing companies; FANG, which stands for Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google; and the rest of the industry, which includes a wide range of products. Let's start with entry level or junior level. Engineers at this level are not expected to take much responsibility over the company's product. Instead, they work on assignments given to them by people who have decided on the direction of the product. Juniors are expected to learn a lot more at this level about code base, coding standards, code management, and Git flow. Next level has different titles in industry. Some companies use a programmer title, for example, JavaScript programmer. Some companies use junior, mid-level. It is called associate in fintech sector and E3 or L4 in FB and Google. They work under some supervision and occasionally write production code. Programmers usually work on fixing bugs, making small modifications, and implementing very small set of features. Next is mid-level, senior associate in fintech, and E4, L4 in FB and Google respectively. At this level, engineers are qualified to write production code without much supervision, although they probably aren't designing anything. Will be expected to learn the software development lifecycle practices, methods, conventions, and standard of computer industry. Once they have solid foundation and they start performing up and beyond this level, one can think it is time to move up the ladder. Now we come to senior level. VP in fintech and similar seniority level in FB or Google would be E5 or L5. Now most juniors or entry level programmers think of you as a software engineer with some superpowers. Engineers at this level have consistently had major success during their participation in all aspects of small and large projects, has a track record of clear technical judgment, and routinely considers architectural level and project planning issues. An engineer at this level delivers complete, fully baked products, from specs to prototypes, complete the documentation, management interfaces, polished user interface, automatic build routines, which have been tested internally and externally. Next up is technical architect, assistant director in fintech, and equivalent role in FB and Google are staff software engineers. Technical architects or staff engineers can be in charge of leading large teams of developers and technical professionals. They act as technical project managers who define the structure of a specific system. They are heavily involved in the architect and system design of the product. Next is principal engineer or senior staff engineer. A senior staff engineer does all the staff engineer's stuff, plus work more in a leadership role across multiple product lines or technologies. Senior staff should also be thinking ahead of strategic planning and execution. A principal engineer or senior staff engineer is often the top of the technical ladder in many companies. Moving to the next level, CTO and MD, both in fintech and standard industry, are more business-oriented roles. Hence, we can skip these two and go to the principal engineer or E8, L8 levels in Google and FB. Principal engineer is an expert in all the stuff which senior software engineers does, but also have exceptional managerial skills. E8 or L8 usually lead senior staff engineers, and they make sure that the vision of company for technical direction is right on track. Next seniority level in Facebook or Google are E9, L9. This role is somewhat similar to that of principal engineer, except you will have many more working with you or under you. Now, time to talk about this mysterious fellow. To understand this position, let us consider an example of a sport. Suppose there are 100 badminton players in a state. Only 2 of them make it to the Olympics. Similarly, while Google houses thousands of coders, programmers, and developers, only 12 Google fellows can make it to this level. Let's take a look at the salaries of these titles now. Junior level pay can start from 35K to 40K. In US, it could start from 90K. For programmers, associate E3, L3 level, you can get 52K to 55K as a starting package. As a mid-level engineer, you can get between 60K to 65K as a starting package. You can get at least 15 to 20K more if you are in fintech. Facebook and Google pays nearly the double of the standard industry. Senior software engineer, VP or E5, L5, you can get 75K upwards in standard industry for this role. Fintech will be paying around 100K plus for a VP. Facebook and Google will pay some seriously good package for this level. Technical architects can get starting package in the range of 80 to 90K. Equivalent role is assistant director in fintech, pays north side of 110K. Facebook and Google will pay something in range of 172K as starting package. Principal engineer in standard industry can get 93K upwards. Equivalent role in fintech is ED, which is 90% managerial in nature, could pay in range of 141K. Senior staff engineer or E7, L7 gets hefty packages from Facebook and Google, usually start from 200K and goes up to 215K. CTO in standard industry gets starting package between 120 to 150K. MD in fintech gets average 250K. Equivalent role to CTO and ED in FB and Google is E8, L8, principal engineer. Starting package is between 242 to 250K. E9, L9 in Facebook and Google can easily get a starting package of 262K upwards. I know you guys must be very curious to find out the package details of Google Follow. As we only have 12 of these in Google and Facebook doesn't have any equivalent level, it was a failed attempt to find any solid numbers for this role. That's all for this video. Hopefully this will give some insight into software titles and packages and will help to shape up your career objectives.